Hello and welcome to Capricorn Makes. I'm Stacy, and in this video we're going to talk about where I've been and what I've been up to. So the reason why I've been absent is largely because we had a really big cold snap here, which doesn't mean frost or anything like that. It just means it was really wet and really damp and really cold. And our bathroom window broke. It broke open, and so we had to wait for a repair, and this whole part of the house was basically just closed off because it was too cold to be in it. And yes, I could have set up in the lounge and tried to video in there, but we were like moving cats, and then we were just basically living out of the one room and our bedroom, just heating up the bedroom at night. And it's been a little bit crazy. The studio has been in major disarray because of this, because I've been working on all of my projects out in the other room, and then things have just sort of been brought in here and stacked up, which I try not to do now that I've been in here, and my general recording space is obviously here, and then the table is right here next to me, but it's just stacked and stacked and stacked. And I've been spending the last couple of days getting things sorted out. As you can see, I'm moving things on the shelf, everything moved down, and then I have to decide what I want to do with that mess, because these are just general art supplies, and it's been collecting doll props which don't yet have a home, and they need one, and since I'm cleaning in here anyway, I'm just kind of doing it all at one point, or I'm just kind of doing it all like all in one go, because it doesn't make sense to put everything away and then take everything out again, and I don't know, we'll see how everything ends up going. But my goal is to have this table completely clear by the end of today while I'm cleaning. But I have exciting news. I did my first Faceup, and I did it on Anthem, and I kind of love it, you guys. This is really fun. So this is her Faceup and her like her sort of official outfit for when she starts her story. I'm not going to be able to hold this up here, am I, and show you guys. Let me see what I can do here. There we go. But yeah, so like you can see, she's white skin. I didn't blush her body yet, but she has eyebrows, eyebrows that are actually eyebrow shaped, and I kind of used gray and pink to do most of her her coloring. I just used pastels, a little bit of gouache, and I actually used sponge on sealant because I was tired of waiting, and the humidity and temperature here is just atrocious. So like it really wasn't a good fit. So here's a better look at what she's wearing. This was that outfit that I got off of a like really large action figure, and it does not quite fit. Like, it's not quite long enough. This really does need to be maybe another centimeter longer, sort of in the wrists and lengthwise here. And her legs, like, I've put these pieces of tape just sort of as a test on the bottoms here, which seems to work. They're still not long enough, but part of the reason is because the waist, it fits well when it's just like this. It actually fits really well on her waist, and there's plenty of room in the legs for it to bend. However, she has some major issues in the back, which I think I can fix pretty easily. I can fix that pretty easily with some alterations. I am planning on taking, let's go back to me. Yay, manual focus. Okay, but I am planning on fixing this, like taking tape and lengthening these, because the like duct tape is the same silver as the reflective tape that's already on here. So I think it can be I think it's going to look pretty good overall. But mostly I'm pretty happy with this. The Faceup went well, it went easily, it does not seem to be grubbing off, it doesn't seem to be washing off. I don't know how durable it is, time will tell. It's just a first Faceup, it's not really a huge deal. I definitely have things that I don't like, but really this was just a huge positive learning experience. Like, it's, you know, I had I don't have anything in here. I have little tiny miniature brushes because I used to paint figurines that were, you know, really super tiny. So I had like the sort of skills of working small. I've used acrylics at that level, so using the paint was not a big deal. I was actually at one point painting with the acrylics, no, painting with the pastels, which was really fun, and I actually quite liked that effect quite a bit. It acts differently than actual paint does. Like the particles are obviously bigger and, you know, they're meant to be dry, not wet. So when you wet them, they can get kind of grainy. But I mean, overall, I was really pleased with how everything worked on the resin. I found the sealant to be really funny. So I used the Liquitex matte medium and matte varnish. I ended up going with the matte varnish entirely because the matte medium, the pastels didn't stick to it. Like, it had lots of tooth, and the watercolor pencils were doing just fine on it. Like, the watercolor pencils were applying like a dream. But it was also super shiny. Like, it was a high, like, high satin. Like, it wasn't gloss. Ooh, I can actually go get the head. I'm gonna have to redo it anyway, because the postman just came, and I knocked the head off of the thing. Anyway, let me go get the head. And do you know what a dork I am? I went out there and freaked out because I couldn't find Anthem's head cap. Because duh, she's wearing it. Anyway, there we go. So with the window open, or with the curtains open there, you can see just how much of a, like a satin shine that is. And it's a pretty high satin. It's having a hard time picking up on the camera, but you can see like her head cap has none of that shine whatsoever. So like it's really significant. But yeah, so I mean, you can see that it has like a hugely different effect on the texture, which is a little bit of a problem. And I should have put Anthem back up there, but there's no shine on this whatsoever. Like, it's not as, like, you can see the texture, and you can definitely tell that there's something there, but it is sufficiently matted. And even when I was first putting it on with the layers, it just is not nearly as shiny. Like, it's not as flat as, no, I have to say, I think it is actually flatter than her smooth resin, just because the resin itself is so smooth that it has more of a shine. Although this doll's resin is less, it's not less smooth, but it's less shiny than the very, very, very paper white Mirror doll body. Which, by the way, Anthem is keeping this body for sure. The resin match is just perfect, and I can live with the sort of weird proportions that her bobbleheadedness gets. I think in clothes it's really less of an issue, and like, I honestly am not sure at this point what other dolls I would put her with, since I have plans. So the other girl that came in, the Gem of Doll Fa Lang, she has a name now. Her name is Noe, and she is not part of the sort of scenario that I've set up with Anthem, which is okay. Like, I had intended to do like body and head swapping, and yeah, that's just not gonna happen. This doll is way too awesome and way too special. The other thing I've been doing while I've been away is bonding with this doll and having such a fun time with it. I've been playing with her wigs, I've been playing with her eyes, just sort of playing. I've just been letting her whisper to me. I'm just playing with her and enjoying her so much. And one of the things that she has asked for is boy doll. So I started looking, and I looked and I looked and I looked, and I've looked at, so she's really tall. She's 45 centimeters and kind of gangly and awkward and lovely. And I knew I needed a 50 centimeter boy because there just were not any good options sort of under that. And so, like, in that range, you know, the three major candidates would have been sort of the Bat Chicks boys, which are lovely, but proportionally they look all wrong. Like they're too serious. They're too like, I really like them as dolls, but they don't match with this doll whatsoever. And there are the Unoa elder boys, which are lovely, and Kate is actually getting one. So that one will actually be here, and I could see them. But then I was like, you know, the Vito is kind of a really good size. Like, I like a lot of the size comparisons that I've seen with some of the taller MSDs and the, like the tall MSDs, not like the little tiny ones in heels that are just these tiny little fragile, adorable things. Like, that really wasn't what I wanted to go for. But the only sculpt that I really liked that they had out was the Lester, and he just doesn't, he's too realistic looking. He's amazing, he's beautiful. But he also is just not right for her. Like, I was looking at the sculpt going, there's nothing that I can do with this doll that I think I'm going to really like to go along with her. And I'm like, ooh, fine, okay. So I just kind of let it slide, and I was poking at things, and then lo and behold, like a week and a half ago or 2 weeks ago or something like that, Souldoll released a new boy. His name is Yoongi, I think, Yoongi. And he is perfect. He's beautiful. He's perfect. He looks like he's... I think there's someone at the door. I'll be right back. False alarm. That's okay. That's what alarm barking is for, right? Alright, where was I? No, the new Souldoll boy. He's a Souldoll Vito boy. He is such a good, like, age range. Like, he looks like, you know, he could be as young as, you know, late teens. He's really in that, like, late teens, early 20s. You know, I'm not rugged, but he also doesn't look like a schoolboy like most of their Vitos do. Like, a lot of their Vito sculpts are just very pretty or very young looking, and I don't have really an age range for Noe yet, but she is, like, definitely in that, you know, late teens, early 20s camp. Like, she's not young, she's not, you know, a high schooler, but she's also not like a mature, you know, an older adult with, you know, older adult things, because, you know, I'm doing so well at that. But yeah, so I mean, like, I really wanted a sculpt that was right in that same sort of age range, and he's perfect. And there's an event on until the end of August, so I have until the end of August to scrape together the money for him. And so yeah. Now I have said previously that the Doll Chateau Snowborn Human was going to be my next doll purchase, probably. And then all the owner photos started coming in because people were getting their dolls in from when he was first released, and I hate him. He is clearly, I don't actually hate him, I still think he's quite charming, but he is clearly not going to work for what I want at all, which is fine. So I'm willing to put that sort of aside, go back and visit wistfully his company photos, and go, oh, that's really delightful, and just not bring him home. But yeah, her arrival and playing with her has just clarified so much about what I like, what I want to do. I am just itching to get like everything cleaned up in here so that I can actually work. My sewing machine chair has been all blocked off, the desk itself is all blocked off, and I'm just like, I want to make videos, and I want to make clothes, and I want to make wigs, and I want to, like, I really had fun doing this face up, and Noe needs a face up, and so, yeah. So she'll get one, and, yeah, so, like, I'm feeling a lot of fire for things. Not that I wasn't, it was just too dang cold to sort of do anything that wasn't, like, tucked up being cold. Let's see, was there anything else in this video? Like, I have lots of things upcoming, like, I have lots of thoughts. Like, clearly I haven't made a video in a while, so I have lots of things to talk about. Like, I will eventually get that prop video up. We'll see how that goes on. So I have lots of things to talk about, but I think for right now, we'll call it there. It's really great to see you guys again. I've been loving talking with people, going back and forth with people on Instagram and Facebook. I'm finally working my way through getting my Den of Angels marketplace access, because I go on there and I read and I'm just like, well, that was really interesting, but this thread was like, I don't know, 3 years old. There's no reason for me to comment. Yeah, I understand why the policy's in place, but it does complicate the usual you're a newbie, go in and read before you make posts about things. So I don't know, I'm working on it. Like, I feel like I'm not so much of a newbie anymore that I don't even know what questions to ask. I at least now feel like I have opinions or questions or things that are that I've researched to a point, and then I'm just it's a little bit more vague, or it's a little bit more theory crafting, or whatever. So and I feel like that's a much better place to be asking questions from in a forum when you're trying to learn stuff, rather than just sitting down with a search bar and reading. So that's really exciting. So hopefully that won't be more than a week or two more before I'll be able to look at all the dolls that I won't be buying because I'm saving up for this Souldoll Vito. But yes, thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you in the next one.